Righty, spicy. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? How you doing? Welcome to Kenji's World. I'm so sorry if that just peaked just then. Oh, I'm so sorry. My microphone's going a little bit crazy right now. I'm having to do a little bit of audio adjusting myself, so my apologies if a little sound is crazy. But how are you? Hope you're all doing well. Thank you so much for coming back and joining me on another episode of Kenji's World. Today, I'm gonna break down a little bit of my mindset of care economics. Okay, care economics, ladies and gentlemen. Fiscal return on the nature of care and the science behind it. I have no science to back myself today. I'm just gonna be mumbling, jumbling from my brain. So, what I wanted to discuss is how care refracts in the world. It's quite simple, really, but I'm gonna give an example of the power of care, and maybe not the ins and outs of what it is, but what I'm working towards and how I want to achieve it inside of my business. Is that I recently went through this thing with Boost Mobile. So Boost Mobile has got, for me, a terrible back-end software that has been not a great experience. Something is wrong with their signals. I'm not too sure. It took me ages to get my SIM activated. Once it was activated, the app is pretty bad. Payments wasn't going through. I had to wait for refunds, etc. So it was a bit of a bad experience. And I called up to try and sort things out with my refund, but unfortunately, they're obviously overseas hotlines. And I wanted to mention something about, the nature of this service, how it wasn't good. It's been a bad experience for me. But the most frustrating part, there's two instances of this, but the most frustrating part was how I knew that my frustrations, not my queries, but my feedback was not going to go anywhere, wasn't going to reach anybody. Maybe somewhere in the books, they're like, oh, we just noticed there was a complaint about our software. But it doesn't induce an action from any sort of managerial team or leadership team or customer relations team to reach out to that individual, to that person, and say, hey, we're so sorry about the experience that you had with us. If we could have rectified it, we could. It was because of this, and this, or give me some sort of contextual points that I could then take away and at least put my mindset into a point of reference. But if there's no point of reference and no one ever inquires, then my care factor goes down, because now my imagination has to make things up, and nothing said is still something said. So the nothing said then entails this zero care, which is a zero response, which then, as is created in its own effect, creates a zero care from my end. My brother recommended me to Boost because they were apparently using the Telstra network more than Aldi, but now I said to him, I have had a terrible experience with it. I will never be recommending it to anybody, and maybe even wasn't even the worst, but it was a terrible experience for me, and I shan't. And you go along with this Centrelink thing, and I didn't even like being in Centrelink. I thought I'd avoid it, but I thought, you know what, I'll just go through it, try and get some payments while I'm here to try and establish my business instead of getting a job. In terms of getting it 1 or 2 days a week, I thought, look, I am going to do my own business. There is a self-employment assistance line. I'd like to give it a shot, see what kind of services the government offers. Obviously, it's a paperwork nightmare to get through all that stuff. You have to get all the ins and outs very correct in a very small window. But I did it. I went through the whole process. I was successful, etc., etc. I was approved, and all this thing happened. And one day, I just get an email saying, hey, thank you so much for joining us. You are now removed from this program. Haven't received any money, etc. So I'm trying to follow up with this. Look, I don't expect to be continually paid by Centrelink, but I just did that time in work, so I'll at least try and follow up on the money that I'm being owed. I'll get it, and look, work into business. Move on as quickly as you can. Get your business sorted. Move on as quickly as you can. Do not rely on the government. I saw people walking in there, and I'm an educated man. I have my wits about me. I know how to go about and get work. Realistically, I should just go out and get work instead of having to rely on these things. But I thought I'd give it a shot because of the nature of where I was going. But I had the same issue where I've had to discuss all these things. It's very frustrating going through the whole process and then being yanked out from underneath you in a moment's notice. I'm sure it's a technical issue, an issue nonetheless. And obviously, I had frustrations and complaints, but there's no point. I told the lady, and I said, look, I'm saying it to you, not to you, but just as it could be mentioned somewhere. And the frustration is knowing that that comment does nothing for anything really ever. And the more that I listen to people working in government, having to have relations with government entities, it's a flipping nightmare, if you ask me. A flipping nightmare. And government, I'm sorry, you ain't doing much great. Ain't many things you're doing good. I'm sure there are things that are good. I'm not saying there aren't good people in government. I'm just saying government, most of the time, is not doing great things. They're slow, they're this, they're that, etc. The benefit from government is to use more money, not to spend less. So those have been my experiences, and the care economics factor. In terms of the Boost Mobile, they lose me as a customer. They'll lose my referral as a customer. And sure, I'm a small fish, it doesn't matter. But in terms of my customers that are going to come through our door and spend money on our business, Gold Brick Road, then I do not ever want that to be the experience where someone would mention a comment and think, but there's no point because it'll never get anywhere. So I'm grateful for that experience. So now I can manage it efficiently, and how that's going to be implemented into our business and into our relationship so that never happens. And if and ever there is a bad experience somehow from our customers, that it makes a beeline through to high management real quick, ASAP Rocky. So that's something I love to put into our model. But care economics, it's very simple. You care about people, people care about you and your business that you're working for, and spreading the love. And this is this thing with Australia and the nature of taxation. To me, taxation is theft, but taxation and the government trying to do these incentives, this, that, and I think just less taxation, man. If you just think you want to do something for the people, just minimize the taxation on so many things. Let the people do what they want to with the money and take as minimal as you need. Realistically, I don't know why I have to pay tax, but governments exist. They take tax and they spend it on politicians that use words and destroy words. So I'm so sorry for any politician out there that's listening. Not every politician. I'm sorry, it's not every politician. There are some politicians that I do enjoy. I appreciate them sticking up and standing up inside of that cage, but woo-wee. I was at a Toastmasters the other day and I saw a gentleman practicing his speeches, and it was very politician-like. He got up on stage and he was speaking politic-speak, right? The magnificence, how wonderful of the generosity, the kindness of people. Such a wonderful place that we exist in. How fantastic. Isn't it amazing? Like, using those words to bring off this sense of care when deep down you sound like you're a frustrated person. No, I don't know. But yeah, there's a lot of words that get tarnished by the usage of politicians, unfortunately. Government, not a fan. They've stooged me over big time. You've obviously lost me. I wouldn't be doing this if I gave a damn about government. So that's my rant for the day, realistically. But care economics, I'm trying to implement that. I'm going to write a book about it. I'm going to do the science, I'm going to do the data. But fundamentally, care economics is kind of what Daniel Goleman was writing about in emotional intelligence. He was discussing this factor of how emotional intelligence will lead to more successful promotions through a company, because people that are managers and have higher roles is a people position, not a process position, in a sense, a technical position, functional positions. It's functional in people, but people are very different from things. And people relations is a very hard thing to do. It's a very hard thing to understand, and how you're going to manage those teams effectively. But there is a way, there is a strategy. If you want to know, go to goldbrickroad.com.au. I'm kidding. Or just jump on this and talk to me. So yeah, care economics. A bit of a ramble today. Still going through a lot of stuff at the moment. My finances ain't great right now. The business is still incorporating me as a third person. There's more things to do. Finances need to increase. I need to go out there and make some sales. I need to really break bounds and get out there, talk to people, and understand these opportunities. Because if I don't, ain't no food getting on this table, and I'm going to be a reliant sucker and a leech into this household. So I don't want to be a leech, I want to be a provider. But they are the challenges that I'm facing currently of how to deal with this stuff. and just getting over myself, just get over yourself, Kenji. Go out, start reaching out to people. If you're going to feel like you're selling to people, don't do it so you're selling to people. Just build relationships. Just keep it real as much as you can and make money. Just go out there and make money. Stay humble, make money, make good money so that your family is going to be looked after, so that you can have a good life for you and your children and for the family that you want to have. So that's where I'm at. Still learning a lot as an entrepreneur, going through the struggles of an entrepreneur, having a partner that struggles with not knowing what the roadmap looks like. And I can understand that. It's really hard. And I'm so used to having a very sporadic, semi-chaotic life in my own regards. So I'm used to a bit of that chaos and change around, but my girlfriend isn't. And I can tell these are the challenges of myself, of why I've avoided relationships. Because once you're in a relationship, there's more than just yourself to care about. And someone else's feelings is going to affect your feelings. And that's a really heavy thing for me, because I can feel a lot of people's feelings. And for someone to be so close, and then for that person that is close to you to really not be hurt, but going through tough times of their own, I'm going to have to go through it with them. There's no stepping out of it. There's only stepping into it. You can't go over it. You can't go under it. You have to go through it. And I'm noticing how much of a challenge that is for me, to stay connected, to not disconnect, not to run away, mentally, physically. I'm learning a lot. And this is this responsibility factor and the care factor, right? The influence of care. Once that influence of care increases, you can increase input by increasing more people into your life and accountability into life, and you learn to care for these people, you learn to care for those relationships, and that's going to come with more responsibility. That's just the nature of, by incorporating more elements into it, there's going to be more responsibility. But how do you optimize maintaining those circles? Because you are only one person as a human being, the spirit, the Lord, the guidance of divine to help you along the path, but you still are limited in time and energy in some sense. So it's working smart, not always just working hard, because I've done a lot of working hard, and it scales because I believe the grace of the Lord has gifted me with grace, and that allows this nature of scale to happen for me, of going into higher realms of experience and position. But to logically go through these things, you have to really create systems, operational procedures of how you're going to do this. Even your life, how do you make sure you're maximizing on life? Because you can't just be crunching all the time and feeling like you're going to have a healthy relationship without ever spending time with that person that's not related to business, especially if you're not business minded together. I guess if you're business minded together, then that can create a relationship with you going through the business together, but then you're deeply tied into doing business together, and that's a whole other thing, different kind of relationship. So I'm learning a lot, going through it, Kenji's world every single day. So I didn't get used to that. I don't know what's going on with my microphone, it was skitzing out. But I appreciate your time. The more time I get to be here, I can clarify and put myself into the right position. I'm about to do an audition for Qantas, and tomorrow Kenji's going to be on Hourglass on set. So happy days. Socials will come. I know, it's all happening. There's got to be more place for fun. Social media has to be a place I enjoy myself. But then there's part of me that's like, but then they're taking my data or my video or this AI stuff. There's going to be a point where I'm going to be putting up so much content that they're going to be able to capitalize on it, pull it apart, and just be able to recreate me in a digital sense. And fuck, there's going to be a digital me out there that's fucking shit daily. Or it's actually just real me that's fucking shit daily. Sorry, my language, hence why this is not for children. Gosh, what a rant, huh? So yes, I'm about to go to my audition with Qantas, and tomorrow I will be on set. How fun. I'm gonna go see Kurt Russell. What a great day. So thank you so much for joining me. Appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. Be well, be kind, be love to yourself and to others. Make sure that you're making it harmonious, sharing your gifts, embrace the gifts. Embrace the gifts. You've got gifts. Don't ever forget, you've got gifts to give to this world. Unique, very onto your own, and no one else can do what you do. So please don't ever think that you are not unique or a very empowered individual. You are. Please, we need more of you. We need the people that are sagacious individuals, people that are strong to the core, strong to the heart, to bring that love to the surface, to this world, as we are going through a tumultuous time of humanity. So please, please, please be the best you. Be the best that you can be. Feel the love, feel the divine love going through us. God wants us to thrive. I feel it. The Holy Spirit is looking for us to be whole again, connected as one, as humanity. So please, I forget the word, but be good to yourself. Be good to others.